Good morning, friend. Welcome to this course, basic manufacturing process, the unit third, last topic in the unit third, and lecture is 67. The welding, based on the welding operation, the welding basic concept of the welding operation. The welding operation is the cease of the operation is the present in this video. Agenda for today I present in this video brazing and gas or torch of the bearing brazing and fa- furnace of the brazing deep brazing for the electrical of the brazing application and advantage and disadvantage of the brazing operation or welding operation. The difference between the soldering and brazing operation of in this slide. Brazing operation. The brazing operation is also known as a welding operation, but welding welding of the two metal, also known as welding, is the two metal pieces are joining for surface and heating and adding to the non-ferrous or alloy with the melting point above to the 400 degrees Celsius, known as the brazing of process. The brazing process is only for use for the 400 degrees Celsius temperature. In this operation, the surface of joint is, the surface of joint is the cleaned for form of the oil drip and the oxides. The sur- the when the both of the surface are placed in the joining operation, the joining position, flux is the sphericated of the place. It is only for the heat is given to the surface of the filler rod and metals. Also for the joint, the molten, this is the soldering operation is also used in the filler metal. Filler metals flow for the surface of the joint, required for the joint of the surface. The once the cooling brazing joint is the format, the cooling brazing and joint is the format. Filler metal use are the copper filler metal are used for copper alloy and silver alloy for aluminum alloy. In brazing is the filler metal melt, but the surface to be the joint of remain the unmelt of the metals. Brazing operation is continuing. The various methods used in a melter in the filler metal is the flux or the gas torch brazing gas torch. It is commonly used to the process in which the oxyacetylene welding torch is used in this operation. The 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 tip of the surface in the brazing operation, the the joining of the place in the fronts of already hotted. The dip of the brazing, the surface is joined to applied in molten of filler metals electrode of the electrical brazing. The electrical brazing is heated to the produce in the resistance in the induction of the methods for application of the operation. The brazing is used for the electrical items application of the electrical equipment making and the radiators heat exchangers in the welding operation, the pipes and pipe fitting of the tools tip in application of the building of this operation. Brazing is continue the advantage of the brazing of welding operation. It is used for the joining of the similar metal. This is the similar metal application. First metal piece is the suppose that steel, and second part of metal piece is used for the copper. This is the joining for the dissimilar metal. Okay. This section can be easily joined And this is the section in this operation, bridging operation. In this operation is the way easily, very fast and easily joint of the piece. Good finishing of the obtained to achieve the joint. This joint is the very finishing achieved in this operation. Bridging welding operation, less skill is required. The welding, the bridging welding operation is the working from the less skilled worker is required for this operation. Okay. This cost is operation is very less, and the bridging operation, the bridging welding operation cost is operation is less and compared to the welding process. Disadvantage of the bridging welding operation, the low, the welding operation is a low strength of the joint and low strength of the bridging operation in joints and not applicable for the hardened and steel aluminum alloy. This is the bridging or welding operation that not used for the hardened of materials, suppose that steels and aluminum of alloys. Difference between the soldering and bridging operation. Soldering operation, bridging operation, and soldering welding operation. Filler metal has been melting point above the in this filler metal is used melting point above the 400 degrees Celsius is used in application in the bridging welding operation. And other this in the soldering operation, filler metal has the melting point of the below of the melting point 400 degrees Celsius. Okay. Second matter, more the more stable joint can be made. More stable can be made. That less stable joint can be made, and the high pressure and temperature do not affected of the joint. The bridging operation in the operation is the pressure and temperature do not affected of the joint, but the soldering operation affected by high temperature and pressure in the soldering operation, joining operation, welding operation. The bridging operation, welding operation is the equipment is the more costly application of the equipment of the bridging operation is more complicatedly, and the welding operation in the application of equipment is very low costly. Cost is very low. Okay. And soldering operation is continuing. Soldering is the process for joining two metals using the another low temperature metal alloys. The metal used for the joining of process of the called the solder. Solder are two types of the hard solder and solder also used for the copper and zinc made for the hard solder, and soft solder also alloy and tin and lead are made for. The surface of joining of the soldering is the clamp for the place of other. The flux is employed for the even of the oxidation, and the zinc electrode is commonly used for this process. The soldering iron is heated either the electrically and some of external heated. Then the hot end of the drop into the flux and solder for passes against for the surface of the joining is the very complicatedly. The soldering operation, the soldering welding operation also soldering for usually used for the sheet metal only for radio televisions work for the joining repair wires, so joining for the repairing of the electrically circuit or and the radio circuit television circuit are repairing for the application of soldering welding. Advantage of the joining cost is very low. Soldering operation joining cost is very low and equipment very simple is achieved, and gold sealing of the fabrication and complicated for other process like the repeat repeat sport and weld of the joint. The provider for the positive electrical connection, electrical connection due to low operating temperature and property of basis of metal are the affecting of the joint. Disadvantage of the joining for format of the week. Thank you so much in this video.